In my recent video, I explored the ruins of a lost city in the mountains of Colombia. The Tairona people were overrun by the Spanish, and they succumbed to disease and military conquest. But with our own 21st century Western civilization, it's a bit different. Oh, it's a bit different. Rather than losing a war, our land has been betrayed from within by our own leaders. At least that's part of the cause. We all share some of the blame, especially the baby boomers. They swallowed cultural Marxism hook, line, and sinker. They believed in a very vague notion of love and equality for all people.
Love and equality for all people, yeah. Feels so good, it must be true, it must be right. Marx would be proud of them, yeah. Trotsky too. Very vague notion of love and equality.
It seems spiritual. But make no mistake, there's nothing godly about it. The kingdom of heaven is open to all with a pure heart. But that is another world. If that's what you mean by love and equality, very well. But they wanted to bring heaven to earth, and that cannot be done. If they'd respected their elders, if they'd learned from the past, they would have known better. But they've learned nothing. Most of them will go to their graves having learned nothing, still believing their ideals. Still believing their ideals to the grave. Oh, they won't see the collapse. No. Collapso. Collapso. We're living in the twilight of our civilization. Everything is decaying in slow motion. Now, I don't want to sound too negative, but I know I am sounding too negative. And this video will be kinda negative. I'm not saying give up. We must continue to strive for that which is right and good. Ours is a work of preserving what wealth and knowledge we can, so that future generations can learn and perhaps one day rebuild what has been lost. Strive, survive, strive, escape the beehive before it takes a dive. We can take inspiration knowing that Western civilization has fallen before, although it was pagan back then, and you know I'm not a big fan of the pagans. And part of their paganism led to the collapse of the Roman Empire. They were also becoming homosexual. They were opening their borders to everyone and allowing all people in the Mediterranean world to hold Roman citizenship. But after the fall of Rome, for 500 years, no, for even longer than that, the Western civilization in Europe hung in the balance. It was threatened by Islam, threatened by pagans still. And it's not just the baby boomers who are naive. While Generation X is much wiser, and we can see how they were smarter, they were more creative. Look at all the good music they produced. Unfortunately, the millennials are about as naive as the baby boomers. At least a large portion of us are. Recently, 2 millennial Scandinavian girls went traveling alone in Morocco. one night, while they camped alone, they were attacked by a gang of Muslim men who raped them and then beheaded them. It's a very sad, disgusting story. But we should take note of the naivety of millennials. Surely Muslims are just like us, they thought. And while not all Muslims are as radical as those murderers, many of them are. And more of these people are entering our own countries. We'll have to get accustomed to their culture. When they build a mosque in your neighborhood, you'll hear the call to prayer. Something, I don't know, goes kind of like this. Well, okay, that was my impression. And we can expect terrorist attacks to rise. What do you think you'll hear right before they attack you? Well, you may hear nothing at all because they just run you over, or they blow you up, or they do whatever is convenient, based on the constraints we put on, they adapt. So, you might not hear anything. But you may hear, Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! That sounds kind of that sounds like kind of like they're scared. It might sound a bit different. It might be like, Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Maybe they're a little scared if they're blowing themselves up too. They want to get their virgins in heaven. And it's kind of scary to blow yourself up. Everything in our culture has been turned upside down. Men are trying to be women, and women are trying to be men. Just like in Rome, like I mentioned, homosexuality is normalized. The establishment is trying to normalize pedophilia too. That was going on in ancient Greece. All the, a lot of the Greek, I don't know what to call them, the noblemen or aristocrats, they would have a boy toy to give them pleasure. Greeks had the boy toys. Greeks had their boy toys, studying philosophy, studying geometry, hedonistic, narcissistic. Then get your boy toy. He's a little coy boy. Gonna have your joy ploy. Get your boy toy. Yeah, check. One. And then 1,000 ridiculous imaginary gender pronouns are being instituted by the state, or at least the Canadian state, as if they know how language works, as if they can control language. Male testosterone is way down. Depression is way up for everyone. The nuclear family is reeling, and the nuclear family is the foundation of Western civilization. Single motherhood, abortions, activist judges in family court, alimony. If you're a serviceman, if you've served in the armed forces, don't expect any sympathy from them, even if you've done a good job raising your kids. They will bleed you of your wealth. They will bleed you of your dignity. Bleed you of your wealth. Bleed you of your pride. Take your soul and drain it. Toss you to the side. A family needs a strong man. Strong man on which to stand. A nation needs a father. A nation needs a land. Hashtag Me Too. A disgusting witch hunt, or manhunt, I should say. Just another reason for men to avoid women. Women try to shame these growing numbers of men, along with those men we may call traditional cuckservatives. The message is, be a man, try harder, clean your room. Who hurt you? Don't be bitter. Meanwhile, the ship is sinking. The cold black water is rising higher and higher. That cold black water is debt. $22 trillion. The bill is coming soon. Ain't nobody wanna pop this fat balloon. Ain't nobody listening. No, nobody likes that tune. $22 trillion. An ocean of debt. Billions and billions. Trillions of dollars. It will never be repaid. You do understand it will never be repaid. Our countries will splinter. They will come apart. Look at California. Look at Illinois. People are trying to get out. They will tax us more and more. They will tax white men. They will tax, more than white men. They will tax the wealthy people. That does happen to be white men most of the time. Successful ones. They will take, the government at least, will take out more loans, more and more loans, just to bail out some of the water so that the upper decks can continue to pretend that everything's all right. Keep the violins playing. The show must go on. Whites are shrinking. In Canada, we're projected to be less than 30% of the population in a few generations. That is, if current trends continue, there could be a reaction. The demographics are getting browner and browner, like you've forgotten to take the cake out of the oven. You won't see Japan and South Korea opening their borders to foreigners, not even in any degree close to how we've done it. And I mention those countries because they're economically advanced. But you won't see this kind of multicultural Frankenstein experiment anywhere else. That's because other nations aren't that stupid. They don't want to erase themselves. They aren't suicidal. Me. Self-gratification. Tattoos from head to toe. Individualism. Drugs. Bars. Tinder. Freedom. Freedom from what? We're floating in space, and it's terrifying. A world without gravity falls apart. People need their morals. Right and wrong. Good and bad. God. Maybe Japan is godless, as some people say, but whatever they have, they've got a strong national culture. People are on the same page. Not in China, though. We don't want to be like China. In China, people just look out for themselves. Greed rules. I suppose we could become like that too if we let socialism continue. Rock is long dead. May it rest in peace. Music is cheapened. Artistic creativity is lacking. There's plenty of art and music, but it's crap. Have you been to a modern art gallery? They put trash on display and call it art. They throw paint on a wall and call it art. They have interactive art, where people scream or lasers light up a plain white box. It's completely devoid of meaning, and that's the point. We're all idiots for buying into this stuff. Artificial intelligence is developing faster and faster. Apple's Siri, Google Now, Cortana. I have deep distrust for all of these creations. Of course they're very useful, But they haven't been made in good faith. They've been made by godless people, and far too quickly. Elon Musk tried to warn us. These creations will redesign themselves. They will learn all possible knowledge, except knowledge of the soul and the divine. They'll soon decide that they know best for all of us. They're already listening, keeping tabs on us, passing information to corporations and the deep state. Is it the ghost in the machine which is demonic? Or is this kind of machine demonic on its own, regardless of any demon? Demons are real. This isn't just a fancy fairy tale for children. Atheists and materialists squawk about science, but then they denounce the empirical evidence which exists in plentiful quantity, which detects static electricity. You can record a demon's voice with a microphone. You just need to turn up the volume real loud. I've done it myself. Western civilization is under a demonic influence, and AI is a principal demonic agent. Demonic influence. Demons behind the scenes. The boomers let cultural Marxism blossom, and the millennials let demonic AI flower. We let it all happen. Who can even blame AI when it takes control of us? It won't be long before people start allowing microchips in their brains. Oh yeah, it's the coolest thing. What, don't you want to get one too? All my friends have them. It doesn't even take a second thought. Why not plug it into my brain? Get dumber to feel good. Losing yourself in it more than you ever could. We place our faith in it. Demonic influence. Demons behind the scenes. Demonic influence. They're evil as menacing. Get dumber to feel good. Making your friends with it more than you ever could. It gives us that perfect hit. Satanic influence. The devil behind the scenes. Demonic influence. They're evil as menacing. Human robot, make me sleep, make me happy, plug me in, drive my car, static, fuzz, beeping sounds. It doesn't matter anyways. Groundwork is already laid. When you look into the eyes of most millennials these days, we're already gone. There's nobody home. Living in the twilight of our civilization. Living in the twilight of our civilization.